So as part of my Capstone project through Udacity, I created an application that allows a user to design different various outdoor landscapes. Now what I did was I created three-dimensional models using SketchUp where the user can go around and place plants using a template that I provided by clicking on orbs throughout the property. Now let's hit play and we can get started on this. I wanted to go over some of the achievements that I was shooting for. Under the fundamental category, I was trying to get the scale, lighting, locomotion, and video player. Now the best property for us to start on would be this 364 Fender Road one because it has most of the accolades that I'm shooting to obtain. Now if we start the virtual design mode, we'll go to that scene. So to go over scale achievement first, I was hoping to get a realistic scale feel by bringing in the 3D model prefab that I created using SketchUp. Now if you look around you can see that it gives you a realistic feel. We were looking at the individual objects and the door and the pool and everything else throughout the property. The lighting achievement I feel that I have obtained because I used in my directional light a mix lighting mode. And the reason I went with mixed is so that we can get a realistic shadowing effect on the orbs as you can see out there in the landscape, and also render the static objects such as my plant placer orbs. The other one I wanted to go for was locomotion achievement, which I feel like I have achieved through the waypoint navigation throughout the property. And finally, for that category, we have the video player achievement, which I have here in this little alcove in the entryway here. I have a video playing that's being streamed in through Dropbox. The video is not part of the actual assets folder. Now, the next category I was hoping to complete in completeness was $1,000 points. The first being 250 for gamification. Now the gamification I feel like comes into play whenever you click on the orbs. When you click on a plant orb, I created a template that allows you to select from a template of 4 different trees and 4 different shrubs. The diegetic UI achievement was another one I was going for under completeness, and that's another 250 points. As you can see throughout this entire process, when you go to the home screen and when you come into the actual house design scenes, there are no instructions telling you what to do. The next achievement for 250 points, I wanted to go for the alternative storyline achievement. Now if you look down, these 2 buttons actually they're on all 3 of the house scenes. You can either go home or you can restart the current scene. I'll just restart the scene to show you that real quick. Now it wipes everything clean and you can start fresh from a fresh new landscape. Now we'll go back to the home.
Welcome back.
Now the alternate storyline should be achieved by being able to select multiple templates to design upon. Well, we'll just go to another one so I can show you that real quick. The other accolade that I wanted to go for under completeness was the 3D modeling achievement. All of these houses I built myself using Google SketchUp. The only thing that I didn't build myself, like the doors, the windows, the picnic table, and the bin, I pulled all of those from the Google SketchUp's 3D warehouse. I did that for all of the house scenes. The things that I built from scratch were the patios, the landscape beds, the yard, the fence, the house itself, the roof. And that should cover everything for the completeness. Again, if I get a total of 1,000 points in completeness, I should qualify for the user testing achievement under challenges. The user testing achievement would be 250 points times 2 if I get 750 in the previous category under completeness. So to go over the user tests, I conducted a series of 4 user tests. I did 1 user test for each house and 1 user test for final gameplay. The user tests that I conducted under each house contain all of the same questions It's just a series of questions based off of scaling and logistics, how you're moving around through the scene, and purpose of the app and how it makes them feel. After the first one I actually conducted 3 different times because I had scaling issues with my Google SketchUp prefabs that I pulled into Unity. They didn't come out right if they were scaled to a 1, even though I built them on an architectural scale in Unity. I scaled them up whenever I first brought them in, and I conducted the test, and I felt that I just had to do some slight tweaking a couple of times to get it proportionate. And also with the trees and the shrubs, I pulled those from the Unity store, the Unity asset store, and they didn't come in a correct scale either, so I did some tweaking with those as well. After I did this first house, the 364 Fender Road scene, I scaled everything to what was close to correct, and then I moved on to the Atlantic Boulevard scene, which is this one right here. Now this user test, it came out okay. The only problem I had with it was I was using a 2D material for the Riverstone in my planting beds, and the Riverstone material itself had large photographs of Riverstone on them, so it didn't come out quite well. It didn't look right on a flat surface, so I changed the planting medium to a mulch instead of a Riverstone, and it just made it look a lot better. User test number 3 is the 101 East Division Street scene. This one also came out pretty well, but the only problem I was having here was I was getting some feedback saying that the palm trees in the scenes, and in this scene in particular, looked too big. So I went through and I scaled the palm trees down slightly in all of my scenes. And that brings me to my final user test, which is the gameplay. After I conducted the first 3, I built this main menu scene and I kind of tied everything together. So this included everything from placing the plants to navigating between scenes and restarting scenes. The only problems I really had on this was, and I don't know how this didn't come up the first time, was the 364 Fender Roadhouse. I had the same gameplay music as I have in the other 2 scenes playing with the TV music, and the 2 just didn't mesh well, and it was kind of competing for attention. So what I did was I deleted out the gameplay music and left the TV. And I also had some issues with the restart scene button because I forgot to make some adjustments whenever I copied that in from scene to scene. And once I got that fixed, all of the scenes, what they do now is they restart when you hit the restart button instead of taking you to another scene. So that pretty much brings me in for all of the achievements and challenges. If there's anything that doesn't qualify, please let me know, and thank you for your time.